Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Thursday, March 23rd. We have a couple meetings to tell you about today. We've got at 2 o'clock this afternoon is the United Agenda Prep. That will be in the Willow Room. And then at 3 o'clock this afternoon is the United Private Loan Research Ad Hoc Committee, and that will be in the Sycamore Room. Now on our show today, we are joined by Tim Jamal, and he is here on behalf of the South Orange County Community College District. He's going to give us an overview of all of the things that they're going to be doing. Then we have Dr. Wang Teng, who is here on behalf of Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center. All right, let's take a look at our weather. Well, we are expecting rain on and off today till maybe around this afternoon, and then we're looking at sunny skies, hopefully, through Wednesday or Thursday of next week. So today we're looking at some showers this morning, tapering off this afternoon, 59-46. Friday, 62-45. Saturday, 63-45. Sunday, 63-46. And Monday, 65-47. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:51, and our sunset will be at 7:05. And take a look at this gorgeous morning shot looking over our community center. So really great shot that our one of our producers, Cole, shot for us. So thank you for sending that in. Awesome look. All right, just a reminder that because of all of the rains, it is very slippery along Aliso Creek. So they wanted to remind you that while you are outside taking a stroll near Aliso Creek, please be careful because the grounds around the banks of the creek are very unstable. And although they may appear solid, they probably aren't. Plus, of course, wet conditions can contribute to any slips and falls, and we don't want you to fall into the creek. So be careful and maybe stay away from the creek several days after the storm, just to be sure that that is solid footing for you. All right, when we come back, we will talk with Tim from the South Orange County Community College District, so stay tuned.
Orcam Read empowers people with low vision.
Sometimes reading can be a challenge. With Orcam Read, just point and click. Read at work. Read a recipe. Read a magazine. Read anything you want. Orcam Read.
At Healing Hearts Emergency Animal Hospital, we are dedicated to emergency veterinary care through high-quality veterinary services and compassion. We offer state-of-the-art diagnostics at competitive pricing. Our doctors will see and care for dogs, cats, and most exotics. In case of emergency, rest assured Healing Hearts Emergency is here for you when your primary veterinarian is closed. Open nights, weekends, and all major holidays.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
It's the return of the Moonshiners All-Star Band. Clubhouse 5, Wednesday, March 29th. Playing your favorite country classic music and country-adjacent music to benefit the Laguna Woods Village Saddle Club and Equestrian Center. Mini Horse Sebastian and his saddle pals look forward to improving the lives and safety of both horse and rider in Laguna Woods Village. Last year sold out, so get tickets early. On sale February 13th at the Equestrian Center. Grab your hat, your boots, and scoot on over to the Moonshiners All-Star Band.
Welcome back. As I mentioned, we have Tim Jamal here on behalf of the South Orange County Community College District. Well, welcome. Nice to have you back.
It's so great to be here.
And thank you. And now you're the board president.
I am. I don't, I kind of fooled them again.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've been involved a long time.
I have been involved since 2012 when I was elected, re-elected twice. And then we've got a new board member, and then we had a new slate of officers, and I'm thankful my colleagues thought highly enough for me to serve as board president again, second time.
Okay. Now, tell me a little bit about, prior to coming to the board. I mean, did you serve on some other type of school district, or how does that work?
I've been in a volunteer capacity, not an elected capacity. So I was serving as an advisory board member at UCI for their engineering school.
All right.
Because at the time I was very involved in the tech sector. I actually was the CEO of the association that represented tech companies, technology companies, IT companies in Orange County.
I see.
For many years, and I got involved with that, and then somehow fell into wanting to. And that's an old picture. Yeah, I like it. I wish it looked like that.
But isn't that the way it always works? We always give pictures that are 10 years younger.
And I looked at the slides and I'm like, well, I think it's time to update the photo.
Well, that's all right. But nonetheless, well, that's good to know that you actually, you've been a part of Orange County for a really long time, and so now you're...
I've been a part of Orange County. I've been an adjunct faculty at an international university overseas at the actually American University of Armenia, which is affiliated with the UC system here. So that was a long time ago, but I was an adjunct there. So I love education. I think it's important to everything that we do.
Exactly, and we've got great schools here in South Orange County for sure. Now, tell me...
the two best.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
Yeah, he's got them right there. All right, so on that note, tell me the service area.
Yeah, the service area is large. So there are 4 community college districts in Orange County. We're the South Orange County Community College District, representing Saddleback College, Irvine Valley College. So it's really goes from Tustin to the north, all the way down to San Clemente in the south.
Okay.
And so we're talking about a very large service area, nearly 1 million residents. That we serve, and taxpayers. We are funded by the taxpayers, so that's one of the. And we'll get to it later. Making sure that we are good stewards of taxpayer money is really important. One of the things that we recently did is we went from a system of at-large elections to area elections.
Okay.
And so the district community college district had been an at-large voting system since its inception, and 50 years or more. And so what that means, just for everyone, is that before, when you ran for election, everyone in the entire district voted for you.
Okay.
But you had to live in an area. So, for example, I live in Mission Viejo, so I had to live in the area. That was a requirement before, but everyone got to vote for you. Now we've changed, and only the people who are residents of the area that I represent will be able to vote for me or whoever else is running. It's a huge change. It's a really dramatic change. So we went from 600,000 or so voters voting in every election to 150,000.
Wow, okay. And
so a big difference.
Why did they make that change?
So there's been a movement throughout the state of California. They passed a law in the state legislature called the Voting Rights Act, California Voting Rights Act, CVRA, and there have been a number of legal challenges to cities and local governments who claim that our voting system is not representative of the demographics in the district.
Okay.
I don't necessarily agree with that, and I don't think it's the case in our district, but in essence, we made the decision to just do it.
Okay.
And go to an area-specific election.
Okay.
And we actually did that, the first one in 2022, just recently.
Oh, okay, so just recently. All right, good.
So I've never run in an area election. I'm always used to running at large. I like at large because I get to have contact with everyone in the district.
Right. Well, we'll see how it goes, right?
We'll see how it goes.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a quick look at some of the things that you have here. We've got the 2023 board goals, so let's just quickly run through those.
Yeah, I won't go over all of them point by point. I will say that we have 2 major responsibilities as trustees. One is to ensure that taxpayer dollars are spent wisely, judiciously, and responsibly. So, we're now nearly $1 billion in district in terms of our budget. And so we have to be good stewards of taxpayer money.
Right.
Second, of course, is providing world-class education. So those two things come together.
Right.
Saddleback College serves over 50,000 students. Irvine Valley College serves 25, 30,000 students. So those two things come together. Fiscal responsibility, quality education, and everything else that stems from that, making sure that we're equitable with our students, and then we engage in the community as well, so we are transparent, like meeting with you.
Right.
We're getting involved in the community, and also we'll get into our relationship with our CEO and our chancellor.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of the accomplishments that are going on right now, and I'm assuming because of popularity, as well as people want to go to school at Saddleback. They want to go to school at IVC. There's a lot of desire to go to these colleges, primarily because of all the things that you have done over the last several years. So what is ATEP?
Okay, so the Advanced Technology and Education Park, it's actually one of the reasons why I decided to run to become a trustee. Okay. It's a 60 acres of land in Tustin that is designed to be a kind of a workforce development campus, a public-private partnerships, where we would seek ground leases from private sector partners who then would collaborate with us and our students to give them opportunities to get training or experiences like internships or externships to get in-demand jobs. Okay. And so it's been a long haul. It's not easy to develop public-private partnerships in an educational system, but as you see here on your slides, we recently signed a ground lease with Advantech. They're an IT and tech company, Internet of all things, computing solutions, artificial intelligence, industrial technology, and so we're really happy. They're going to be breaking ground in the fall on a new building, a 6-story, 100,000 square foot building. And so we're really excited about that. And so they'll have their campus there. And then our goal is to integrate what they're doing with their company, with our students, and give them opportunities to get exposure to research and design of advanced technology.
So who teaches the classes? Would it be on, would they,
well,
the students go there?
They're going to run their business there. This is going to be their office.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, it's a ground lease to them.
Right.
So our goal is to integrate our students into what they're doing in terms of their business, their research and design.
Okay.
Hopefully, there's an agreement that they will strive to take our students on as interns or an externship.
Okay.
So that's not an educational building.
Okay.
But because it's in the proximity of our campus, right on it, so we really feel like they're a great tenant and will be a good partner for us.
Oh, that's great. I mean, that certainly is giving a lot of opportunity to students, because not everyone is going to go off into certain sectors, of work. But here you're giving automotive, culinary arts. I mean, that's great, and those are desired jobs right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, so now talk about, you have a foundation dinner that you guys just had, and that was March 10th.
It was. So we have two philanthropic arms. Of course, there's the the district itself. We have 7 trustees, and then both colleges have foundations. They're nonprofit foundations that raise funds primarily to provide scholarships to students who are in financial need. And we had the IVC Foundation dinner most recently, a couple of weeks ago, at the Lion Museum, Air Museum, and raised nearly $200,000 for our students and other programs. Excellent. And I love what the foundations do. They have their own board of directors, and these are volunteers in the community who are devoting their time because they're passionate about community colleges, and they see that they give students a step up or a second chance or another opportunity to move forward in their career or in education. So fabulous event. You need to come to the next one. I think you'll love it.
It's March 8th, 2024.
A year now.
Yeah, a year from now. But okay, we'll have you back before then.
Get in the calendar.
And then let's talk about the chancellor.
Yes. So this is very exciting. So one of the things that we primarily do, other than obviously managing fiscal resources, assuring quality education for our students, is that we have one employee as 7 trustees, and that's the chancellor.
Okay.
And so less than a year ago, we brought in Juliana Barnes as our chancellor, and she has absolutely hit the ground running. I think she's been on your program as well.
Probably so, yes.
I am so impressed with Juliana, and as board president, I have a lot of contact with her.
Right.
She's energetic, she's conscientious, she works nonstop, she's committed to the students, and so we have her investiture, which I've never been to an investiture, so I'm excited to participate in it.
Okay.
And so that will be happening on April 27th.
And that's open to the public, and that will be from 2 to 4 p.m.
Yeah, open to the public.
Love
And
that.
we have 2,500 employees, so as chancellor, she has a pretty significant responsibility.
Right.
I'm excited to, and I think she's, we want her to be here a long time.
Perfect.
Oh, and then finally, I know I kind of skipped over it a little, but going back to ATAP just for a second.
Okay, you have one second.
1 second. Culinary arts, automotive technology, hospitality industry in Southern California is huge. Yeah. And then we're going to provide our students that the technology in automotive is changing every day, the electrification of vehicles. So excited about what we're doing there.
Perfect.
Okay.
You did that well. Thank you so much.
It wasn't a second. Good call. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. If you want more information about anything that we have discussed, you can always go to the website, soccd.edu. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We have Dr. Wang Teng here on behalf of Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center. Well, welcome. Very nice to have you back. It's been a while.
Thank you, Lisa. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, you handle quite a bit. You're a vascular and endovascular surgeon, and you are the medical director of peripheral vascular services at Saddleback Medical Center. So tell me a little bit about your job.
So, Lisa, thank you for having me. It's been many years since I was here last, but as a vascular surgeon, I take care of diseases of blood vessels, vascular, of arteries, veins. There's also lymphatic system, swelling. And I'm the medical director of vascular services. I take care of the administrative stuff for clinical affairs at our hospital across the street.
Okay. Now, tell me a little bit about how you arrived at this point. You've been a surgeon for how long, and where did you go to school?
Yeah, so graduated locally, UC Irvine.
Okay.
Actually did 15 years at UCI, so outside of high school. So undergrad, I did some research work with UCI, medical school, and then general surgery and vascular training. And then first job, career outside of training was here at Saddleback, back before the name change. And have been here ever since, taking care of our friends at the Laguna Woods Village.
Okay, so you've always been this particular arena, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there anything in your training or happened in your family that got you to this point? Because sometimes people have a story.
That's a great point. No, so for me, it's, we start as general surgeons.
Okay.
And vascular surgery is a subspecialty of general surgery.
Okay.
And so as general surgeons, you continue on as a general surgeon and continue to do the bread and butter of general surgery, or become a specialized surgeon, as I did, and go through the technical intricacies of vascular surgery. And we find that very interesting, and taking care of some pretty technically difficult to handle disease, which is artery disease,
right.
And fine operations and such. And so I find that as a challenge, and really enjoyed it for the breadth of my career.
Are you using robotics for a majority of your operations?
What a great question. Yeah, so robotics is not big in vascular surgery, as it is in other specialties like OBGYN, urology, general surgery, and such. And so I think vascular surgery will eventually get to using robotics, but rather our big thing is what's called endovascular. And so we talked about that a little bit earlier as a vascular surgeon and endovascular surgeon. What does endovascular mean? Is that we manage blockages in arteries by using little balloons and stents.
Right.
And hopefully we can talk about some of those things today as one of our procedures. So endovascular is our minimally invasive way of doing operations, just as robotic is for those other specialties.
Okay. So would you say the majority of the patients that you treat do use one of those particular things that you mentioned, either a stent or a balloon?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, so the majority of our treatments now are minimally invasive.
That's great.
Using endovascular techniques.
You know, we'll look at that in just a second, but I wanted to ask you a question. How many balloons or stents can one person have?
So the balloons are something that goes in and then is removed.
Oh, gotcha.
So the balloon is actually a tool to stretch open, crack open, break through blockages.
Okay.
And then the stent is the implant, the lattice, the wire mesh tube that is actually left in place.
Okay.
So in theory, you can have stents all throughout every vessel in your body. It's quite costly, but there's no limit.
I only ask because my father's 93 and I think he has 3.
Yeah.
And so it seemed fairly common that for you to be able to treat it and help them breathe and help them have the blood flow that they need. So let's actually talk about this particular type of operation that you guys do. So it's called TCAR, T-C-A-R.
That's correct. So TCAR is an abbreviation for a transcarotid artery revascularization.
Okay.
And revascularization basically means to open up the blood vessel again. Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason why we would offer this type of procedure is that carotid arteries become blocked over time. It's part of the aging process and is accelerated by those with high risk factors.
Right.
Smoking, number 1, diabetes, number 2,
Right.
high blood pressure, cholesterol, diet, obesity, and such. And so with these blocked arteries, they can cause strokes. And so that's the big deal of what we're trying to do is prevent strokes.
Okay.
And by preventing strokes requires an operation of which the transcarotid artery revascularization or stenting, as we would just call it, is one of the options that we provide here at Saddleback.
So how has this changed over the years? Because you are referring to it as a fairly new option, but how long has it been around?
That's right. So stenting's been around forever, right? Just as you said, your father who's had stents placed in other organs, right? Mostly in the heart. We place stents in the legs.
Okay.
We can put stents in your lungs. We can put stents in your intestines. And so
Okay.
there's stents, those wire mesh tubes that I just talked about to hold something open are in place for many years.
Okay.
Today, we're putting stents in to open up blocked arteries in the heart, we know about, in the legs that I do. And then we also have placing stents in the arteries in the carotid that go to the brain. What is new about this procedure is these stents normally are placed through punctures in your groins.
Okay.
However, now we're stenting the carotid artery in your neck through small incisions at the base of the neck.
Oh, interesting.
Correct.
So how come you had to go so much farther away before?
Right, so that was the access point, right? So that was a common access point to get inside of your blood vessels in the heart and other parts of the body, which are the groin arteries, your femoral arteries. The problem is placing stents in the carotid artery has a pretty high risk of stroke, of giving you a stroke during the operation. So wait a minute, you're trying to do an operation to prevent strokes, but yet the operation carries a pretty significant risk of giving you a stroke. So that was not an ideal approach through the traditional way, through your groins. And so what has been developed by this company, Silk Road Medical, pretty groundbreaking, is delivering that stent through an incision in the neck, number 1. Number 2, having a system, and I think we have another slide on that potentially, in which the artery, and we'll see in the top left of the screen there, in which the artery now flows backwards. You force the artery to flow backwards, such as while you're working on that artery, as you're placing a stent on it, such that if you disturb any plaque, that plaque doesn't travel up into the brain and give you a stroke.
Interesting.
Rather, it travels backwards, and we dump it into a vein, in which doesn't cause
So do you have like a little tube?
There's a little tube that goes across the area that we work,
Okay.
travels across the body, and then goes into a vein.
Sure. Wow, that is amazing.
So that's the difference.
Huh. And that's only been around for how long?
It's been around 4 years.
Okay.
I was the first to place it here at Saddleback.
Oh, okay.
As well as my partners, Dr. Sharma and Dr. Deering.
Oh, that is fantastic. Well, you know, and like you mentioned, it's such a lesser risk for someone. And do you choose to do it on certain kinds of people, or do you just go ahead and use it on everyone?
Great question, Lisa. Thank you. So this is weighed against our traditional operations. Our traditional operation is what's called a carotid endarterectomy. That's the good old-fashioned incision on the neck, shut the blood flow off from the brain temporarily, open up the artery, and then take that plaque out. And that operation carries its own risks: bleeding, infection, nerve injury, giving you a stroke. And so those are the two operations that we would offer you, either traditional open surgery, carotid endarterectomy, or this stenting procedure, both of which carry the same benefits of stroke prevention.
Okay.
The TCART procedure carries a less surgical risk, smaller incision, same recovery, and similar risk of giving you a stroke during the operation.
I see. I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
And you can learn all about this if you are attending the Health and Wellness Expo that you guys are going to be presenting at. So tell me, you have a booth, or are you going to do a talk? What will it be?
Yeah, so we will be at the Memorial Care booth, Health and Vascular Institute, myself, and my cardiology and interventional colleagues will be there.
Okay.
We'll be talking about vascular disease from head to toe.
Okay.
Cardiologists will talk about their heart disease and lung, and I'll be talking about vascular disease.
Okay.
We've got blood pressure screening.
Okay.
We have dietitians there that will talk to you about making good choices in terms of diet, and we'll be happy to answer questions regarding carotid disease, the stenting procedure, and such.
Will you have the samples there, maybe?
I will have little handouts.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe I'll bring a stent or two.
Well, sometimes I think it's interesting to see, how small
Exactly.
they are, so people don't get kind of worried,
Deal.
So
I'll bring it.
Okay, so great. So he's going to have that just for you guys because I asked. So I love it. Thank you so much for the information. I really do appreciate it.
Wonderful, Lisa. Thank you for having me.
All right. If you want more information about anything that we have discussed, or you have questions, please go to memorialcare.org/SB Heart. And don't forget, they will be at the Health and Wellness Expo on Saturday, March 25th from 10 to 2. We'll be right back. Let's take a look at our weather real quick. We are looking at rainy skies here, maybe up until about 1 o'clock this afternoon, then clearing. But the rest of the week, we are looking for sunshine and some warmer temperatures. Have a great day in the village. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.